It's the Dadnarok After Show. Now, here's Chris and Sean.
Welcome back to the Dadnarok After Show. This is Sean.
And this is Chris.
And tonight, we are going to be watching the most recent trailer for Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, Season 2.
If that's not a mouthful, I don't know what it is.
Oh, no.
They couldn't have made it any easier. Let's
Yeah.
make it like a 20, 30 character, name of the show.
It's premiering on Amazon Prime Video coming up in next week.
Yeah, next week. Thursday. I think it's Thursday. And I think they're giving us 3 episodes.
Three episodes. They're dropping 3, then they're going weekly after that.
Okay. We all know, if you guys follow us, and I know you know, I am not a binge watching guy.
Yeah.
I don't have time for it. I got like soccer, got kids, got work. You name it. I'm an old damn man.
Name it.
And I don't want to be up till 2 in the damn morning watching these.
Yeah.
But I will be. We
got to hop on here and talk about it.
Yeah. I prefer them releasing one at a time. If you're going to do a weekly release, hold to a weekly release. That's kind of my thinking behind it.
Come on, Amazon. Get with the program.
Yeah. Dadnarok says do this. You must do as Dadnarok says.
Exactly. I'll stop ordering from your website. No, I won't.
Yeah, right.
No, I won't.
Amazon's going to rule the world.
I know. I got my eye on a smoker getting it from Amazon.
Oh,
Pit Boss.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Pit Boss vertical smoker.
I know, some fish from some river in Lord of the Rings. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Potatoes.
You're smoking some potatoes.
Yeah.
Let's do this real quick. What do you, seeing that it's been so damn long between season 1 and now, what do you remember from season 1?
I remember Galadriel and her, I guess, endeavor to I don't know if she was chasing Sauron? No.
Well, it was Hilbrand at the time, but she was
Yeah.
I think she was chasing those like orcs and that one like leader of the orcs.
Something about the old evil. There was an old evil. We got a little glimpse of back in the day before Middle Earth was like really like Middle Earth, where her time in the West before she came over, I think, where it had the tree, like the light-giving tree and stuff.
Yeah.
See the lore of what's the lore of Lord of the Rings? Well, sit down for about 5 hours and let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
So I remember it mostly as Galadriel's story, finding out that this dude that she's been hanging out with is Sauron. And then the kind of the B story is Elrond and his relationship with the dwarf that I forget the name of.
Durin.
And then getting to know each other.
Yeah, and his wife down there. I think that was the best part of season 1. That whole part right there.
Oh, and then there was the unnamed wizard with the little folks, that are not quite hobbits, but close.
Yeah, so is he who is he? We didn't get an answer to that. We really don't know who he is. Who are these like remember like the cult like people that were following him and trying to find him? So we had that whole situation going on. We had the Balrog.
Those people of it's not Valeria? No, that's we're just coming off Game of Thrones too. Valeria is the
wrong world.
No, but is it Dúnedain or basically where Aragorn derives from? That's how he gets his long life. What's the name of that place?
Oh, he's from
he's got the blood of Numenor. Is it Numenor?
Numenor.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. And I didn't realize that before. It took me a long time to actually notice that was, why he was able to live as long as he did.
In like Lord of the Rings, like Viggo Mortensen's supposed to be like 85 years old or something, but he looked dang good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I remember people being hot and cold on it. It wasn't completely crushed, but then there was people that were like, okay, well, I don't like how they did this, or the pacing about it was like that, or it was just kind of all over the map with it. I remember
pretty
just
woke. It's pretty woke trash.
Oh, we can't have female leads and
No, she's just too powerful. Galadriel's not supposed to be powerful.
yeah, there's too much stupid stuff, but
It was a magnet for stuff like that. Let's not. I mean, that was kind of the big story throughout that whole season.
anymore.
Yeah,
Any property that's put out that has anything other than the traditional tropes that are put in it, you're asking for almost a sinking ship. You pretty much have to bail water and keep and believe in your show and keep pushing forward and just completely ignore what everyone else
yeah.
is on the line. And if you don't, it's I don't know. I've got feelings coming off of a show that Disney Star Wars just canceled. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go ahead and dovetail into that. So
Well, it kind of overshadowed the vibe or the reception of the first season. I mean, it was kind of the main story when you went online to talk about the show. That's mostly what you got and when you looked up the show. That's what you heard. As far as the story itself, I think you and I, for the most part, really enjoyed it. I mean, the special we probably would have given it like a B, maybe
oh yeah,
like a solid B. There were some episodes that drug along a little more, and other episodes that were really great, really intriguing. I think you and I really enjoyed the character growth between Durin and Elrond. So there was definitely some high points in the show. I mean, the look of the show was incredible.
oh
I
yeah.
mean,
They spent everything on it. You can
yeah,
tell the money and where it was spent. And I mean, the acting was good. I like the acting. There was nothing bad. I mean, the
no,
pacing I think was the biggest issue.
yes, yeah.
I think
Production wise, it was awesome. There are probably some writing issues and yeah, like you said, pacing issues, maybe some directing issues that
well,
were
I
a
think
little
most
off.
people took issue with the interpretation. Like I've seen some things about like the rings are
Yeah,
being forged out of order and little things like that, but really it's an adaptation.
right.
So you have to remind yourself that it is an adaptation of something.
And
So
it's an adaptation of basically a sketch of a story. I mean, this is not like based on some fully fleshed out book. I mean, the Cimmerillion, there's a lot there, but
yeah,
it's not like a whole written out story like Lord of the Rings.
and it's hard to listen to. I got maybe through a third of it because I was deciding I'm just going to
Yeah,
listen. There's no way I can read that. The way that it's written, I couldn't go that route, but I had to punt. I was like, nope, I just can't. I'm going to rely on other people that know and their knowledge of it for me to
yeah.
gain some of my own knowledge. But let's just go ahead and check out that the most
Let's check
recent
out the
trailer
latest. Yeah, let's watch it.
to season 2 and see what we all think.
There it is.
War has come to Middle Earth.
This is the work of Sauron.
Our armies cannot defeat him. Once the deceiver obtains a being's trust, he gains the ability to sculpt their very thoughts. You are wise to fear these rings. In Sauron's hands, they could work an evil beyond reckoning.
Aegion must not fall. It would be a mortal blow for all Middle-earth.
Sooner or later, Sauron's eye bores a hole. The rest of him slithers in. You sought peace. I gave it to you. This is hardly a gift. What have you done to me?
What have you done to me?
Who are you? Truly, I am the one keeping the storm at bay. Sauron is my enemy as much as yours. I can help you destroy him.
I will not stop until this is put right.
Every soul in the seen or unseen world will know that it was you who was the architect of their demise. At this moment, the great tale of our age is being written.
You think it was only you who put yourself in my power? Galadriel.
Dude. I see
Well, okay.
deep in thought over there.
Yeah.
So I'll admit, I've already watched it. I watched it once already, and it looks like we lost my camera.
What happened to your camera?
I don't know. Keep talking. I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna come back.
All right. So, let's see. My first thoughts is that I'm worried that maybe it's a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing. That's what I kind of got of that trailer. I kind of get the gist of the season so far. Where you're back.
Hey, it worked.
I was just saying that the trailer, there's a lot going on, but you can't really discern a plot. Really, it's a lot of sound and fury signifying nothing to me. Like, I have no idea. I have no clue. I see some characters from the first season. I understand that the man that was Sauron is now in elf form, right? And he's helping the one character I forget the name of, but that was in last
Kellen
season.
Brimborn.
Yeah, Celebrimbor
Make the rings.
to make the rings, which it seems to be it's portrayed as some of a kind of like a devious plot kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see since they seem to already be, I guess, weary or hesitant about these rings because we know all like the men and the elves and the dwarves, they eventually they
all
wear
caved
these
to the
things.
power. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like they take them. So
Well, I think you've seen Doran, his father, Doran the second or third or whatever it is. He's actually wearing one while he's sitting on the throne. So he puts his on while he's there. So we already see it corrupting him a little bit in this trailer. We don't get a whole lot of it.
I'm wondering how much of this season will be actual because that was like battle heavy. That was a lot of fire and jumping around and
I feel like they
swords
actually are
clashing.
addressing the issues of season 1, which if you give a show a season 2, you can usually do so. It's
Yeah.
almost like they fixed the pacing issue because it looked like there was a lot going on between Galadriel and the forest. You had the battle at I can't remember the name of the city, but I feel like that is a very important battle at that time. So
I would I would be curious how long Sauron's identity stays a secret. You know what I mean? Like it seems like kind of a major reveal, but like us as the audience, we're kind of like already in on it. So is that interesting if that is not revealed to the other characters, for a full season? They
they've
only
got
find out like the last couple episodes.
I think they need to hold on to it because I feel like the fall of Numenor is based on them finding out Sauron was there.
Mm,
So I think they have to hold on to that a little bit longer. Now I don't know
yeah.
what the plans are beyond season 2, and
Right.
that's really going to be telling because if they decide to go ahead and let us know, and you see the fall of Numenor, and you see the battle, I'm really blanking on that city. They even said the name of it in the trailer there. I'm hopeful. This one here, this trailer, because I'll be honest, we both enjoyed, like we said before watching it, season 1. But going into this, I was like, no, I wasn't excited. I was
Yeah.
looking forward to it, but there's no excitement. This trailer actually made me a little more excited for the show because I was like, okay, we're seeing the battles, we're seeing everything, we're seeing the plot move forward. It doesn't feel like it's gonna drag in episodes.
Yeah.
And in another trailer, they actually showed the stranger and basically wandering the desert with
Mhm.
was it Nori? I think her name was.
I think so. You're good at remembering these names from like 2 years ago. Good job.
So it's gonna be interesting. I want to see where they go. I want some type of reveal. Who is he? You can't hold on to us and string us out a whole nother season on who
Yeah.
this character is because there's so many people that want him to be Gandalf, but it's way too.
I don't want him to be
No, I don't
Gandalf.
either. It's way too early in the timeline for it to be Gandalf. But
Yeah.
then who's that wizard sitting in that throne on that seat?
Yeah, he had a long beard, seemed to be a wizard.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not, but he was definitely giving wizard vibes. I'll say
I
that.
think in this time frame there were blue wizards
Yes.
that are
Mhm.
around. But we didn't even
Right.
see in this trailer like we did in the prior ones. I'm not sure if you watched the prior trailer that came out, but Tom Bombadil was revealed.
I was wondering about that. I think I did glimpse a shot with a guy that was wearing a big old hat that looked like the classic illustrations of Tom Bombadil, and I was like, "Is that supposed to be?" And I, I saw it, and that did get me hyped,
Okay,
honestly.
okay. I didn't notice it in this one here. In prior trailers, they flat out basically said it was him.
Yeah.
So what I know of him is he's kind of bubbly, cheerful. You know, he does his own thing. What they showed of him in the trailer in that one, it didn't give me the same vibe,
Hmm.
but it may just be a certain conversation that they're really not giving us a full, you know, picture of what
Right.
they're gonna be doing with him.
And that's kind of the charm of the character because in the book, in the Fellowship of the Ring story, he is somewhat, he just seems like an old goofball that's
Hmm.
like out living in the middle of the forest with his wife, kind of speaks nonsense and stuff. And it's only after knowing him some time and he has the ring and gives it back to Frodo that you learn all this stuff about him. Well, I think it's only after the fact. I don't think the hobbits even are aware until Frodo brings up Tom's name to Gandalf afterwards, and Gandalf was like, "You ran into him?"
Yeah,
Like, he
you
only
ran
after the
into
fact did they
Bombadil,
know
yeah.
who the heck he was, yeah.
And
Um,
his lifespan, like we know he's old by the time
yeah,
we see him in the Fellowship of the Ring. So it's not we don't know how long he lives.
we have no
We have
idea.
no idea of the length of time. And in the books, he's actually talking to the tree imps. So he's actually, conversing with them.
Yeah.
So what is his role?
We saw I don't know if yeah, I think it was the last trailer I saw where we saw some tree ants in the
Yeah,
last trailer. Yeah, not this one.
not in this one
Um,
here. So I mean, just seeing that character and it took a long time for me to actually know who he was because I
yeah,
wasn't a
yeah,
book guy. Then I started doing some walking and everything with the Lord of the Rings all around it,
yeah.
and I started listening to the book. I love this character, man. When I'm listening to him, I'm like, how is he not involved in the first movies? Set of movies is like
I know, it's
how did you not involve him in some manner? Unless they were afraid to involve him because of the adaptation they were doing, they wouldn't have done him justice. That's the only reason I can see them removing him from it.
well, it's his character is kind of an anomaly. It's so crazy because even plot-wise and story-wise, you're introducing all these characters. You're introducing this threat of Sauron and the Ring of Power, which seems to be this huge, thing that can really taint people and like make them evil. And it's like
Yeah.
nobody wants to hold on to this thing. And you're just starting to learn about it. And as soon as Frodo and the other hobbits kind of start on their journey, they run into this guy and almost like completely wipes all that stuff away because he's so
He's completely
ancient
infallible.
and so yeah, and so powerful that, like, the ring to him is like nothing, like, who cares? Which you're building and building and building, and then all of a sudden you're deflated and like, "Well, wait, where am I?" Kinda, like, knocked out
Yeah,
my
because even
understanding of the
Gandalf
world
was
around us.
scared to touch it when he was sitting in Bilbo's house.
And then he
So
never comes back, and then he's never in the rest of the story. So yeah, it's very strange.
yeah, so if you ran into him there, and then like you said, Gandalf's scared of it. Everyone's scared of it. Keep it locked up. Keep it safe. And then you
Yeah.
run into Tom, and he's like, "Well, I don't care. Look at this. It's the little shiny thing. You want it back?"
Yeah, yeah.
That would have thrown everybody for a loop. Definitely if you had
Right.
no idea about any of the lore, which I would say probably 50% of the audience at that point at Fellowship for the
Yeah.
movie didn't have much of an attachment, didn't have a whole lot of
Oh.
knowledge.
It was definitely the right move for Peter Jackson to remove, him from the story because it just totally would have been confusing. He wouldn't have come back, and yeah. In the books, it's strange enough, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
you just kinda go
it's
with it.
kind of jarring
But yeah, when
when
you're
he
in a movie, you're
saves
trying to
Frodo from the tree when he's laying by the
yeah,
river.
yeah. So yeah, Tom Bombadil, if he is in
Now
this season
he's
2, I'd love to see him.
tall. I know we don't want to get around like the size of the character and everything, but if my impression of him in the book was he's a not much bigger than a hobbit. I mean, he's taller, but not huge. The character that they showed that they said it actually is Tom is more, normal male size. He looked massive. So
Maybe
I
he
don't
shrinks
know.
when he gets older.
He
Everybody, it's bone
reverse.
degeneration. Yeah. You kinda shrink, gravity, Everybody shrinks a little bit.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This trailer for me did its job. I seen the wheels turning on you, just kind of like, what are we
Well,
getting?
I'm still kind of I'm nervous basically. I just hope the writing's there, and I hope that this show has a lot going against it, to be honest. Like it's got tons of stuff going forward, but it's also got ton against it because of the simple fact that they actually don't have the rights to
Yeah.
different parts of the Tolkien verse. You know what I mean? Like, so they're pulling the story from what they can and they're interpreting things.
Hmm.
So, what you would think of a Lord of the Rings story, it's the pinnacle. I mean, The Hobbit is a book, great. How you feel of the movies, whatever. But the Lord of the Rings book and the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I mean, they're the pinnacle of, every kid should read those at some point just to
Yes.
know that story. You know what I
Dude,
mean?
watching Zach watch them all three of the trilogy of the movies for the very first time at the beginning of this
Yeah.
year in the theater, being the director's cuts, the reaction to him when Gandalf dies,
Yeah.
and then comes back. There was so many reactions out of him that the theater we were in was getting a
Yeah.
kick and enjoying watching his reactions because it
Right.
was the very first time. And it was the people we seen the movie, all three of them, was almost all were the same group of people that came back for all 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that brotherhood was happening, that fellowship was happening in the
Right.
theater, and hearing Zach gasp and it verbally yell no when Gandalf said, "Run, you took," and he fell
Yeah.
with the Belrog.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. I those movies should be and are cherished. So when you're like picking pieces out of stuff that doesn't have a solid foundation as it is, as far as the story, I just worry. I'm like, are these writers up to snuff? Like, I don't know any of them.
Mhm.
I don't watch any behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how many seasons they have played out. I
Yeah.
don't know like what their end game is. You know what I mean? Like, are
That's the
you?
thing. Where is this story going to stop?
Yeah,
Where will they draw the line? Like, okay, now this is far enough because within the Lord of the Fellowship and everything, we know the lore that they talked about prior. Like, are they
yeah,
going to stop well before the ring is actually found?
yeah.
With by Gollum or whatever his name was before he was corrupted.
Yeah, and there's a lot of criticisms out there about this show that are unwarranted as far as the woke stuff, in my opinion. But there's a lot of criticisms as far as like, since you don't have access to a full fleshed out like story from prior to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you're just kind of picking pieces. Did you just was this just a grab from Amazon to grab a property and make something
Hmm.
that's big and flashy that looks fantastic? Just to put it out there and say it took $1 billion to make, and
Yeah.
we know this property, it's been beloved for 20 years, so we're gonna like grab what we can of it and put it out there. Now, I don't, the first season was good, but is it, $1 billion good? Is it the kind of show? I'll be honest, like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon kind of took the wind out of the sails of this show because the
Oh
first
yeah, they
season,
released pretty much the same time, didn't it? It
yeah,
was. I
the
mean, they
first
were running
season,
side by side for a few weeks.
yeah. And there's no that show didn't take $1 billion to produce,
Yeah. No.
which is crazy. So, we just had the House of the Dragon season 2 that you and I watched all of. You can, out on our channel, you can watch every episode that we covered on that. Spoiler alert, we are way into the first half of the season, not as much the second half of the
Yeah,
season.
second half of the season kind of hurt a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll wait and see because we'll be back. We'll be back next week after the premiere of the first 3 episodes of season 2 of the
And
Rings of Power, Lord of the
we're
Rings, the
doing
Rings
these
of Power.
Friday night, right? Is that what the deal was? This
Yes,
Friday, then
Friday.
Friday night's gonna be a whoo. We're gonna have some watching to do. We're gonna be some tired
Yeah,
boys.
we've got like 24 hours to watch 3 we can do it. What the hell?
You see this
Well,
beard? It means I'm old.
I know it's gonna be a wizard length soon.
Oh, oh, dude, that'd be cool if I get a hat and a robe and a staff.
Oh yeah, your
Oh,
wife
you
would
know
love
what?
that.
You may have just set up my Halloween get up. I may have to
Yes,
do it. I may have to
do
do
it.
it.
All right. Well, y'all, if you are subscribed to the channel already, we thank you. If not, be sure to subscribe to it. If you're interested in the Rings of Power coming out, we are going to cover it. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video. It really helps the channel out.
Okay, and we'll see you next Friday as we cover the Power of the Rings and My Precious.
See ya.